Peace, peace, peace. I'm back. We're having a really bad thunderstorm right now too, so the internet wasn't working too good, and I was kicked off from the last broadcast. But kind of figured it might have happened because it is storming. But anyway, um, what I stopped off at was saying check out our description section, um, where we have the Inner Circle University. You have to go into the description. It's gonna lead you to the Inner Circle Ministry. Uh, and in the menu section of the Inner Circle Ministry, you're gonna find the university inside of our educational section, and find out the things that we have about um, setting up different processes in your life, or having different processes to help you live your life from separate from the government. If you already know about those things, or some things you may not know about. But anyway, for those that do know or are in the know, there's things in there how you can set up your life and set up and structure your life to better to the point where as you control everything and own nothing, basically in a sense. Um, you have to go to there now, um, and see the process and the different things that we have there. Um, we've done other shows and on different things, the processes and things that we have in there for us, the national passport, creating your nationality, uh, or creating your status through the national passport process, things of that nature, capturing and controlling the strawman through various procedures as well, protecting your access through trust, operating your life through a business and converting your everyday life into a business and learning how to operate through those ways. Um, Correctly, like I said before, correcting your status and your nationalities and separating yourself from the straw man, capturing it, the whole secure party process, um, for lack of words, and showing you how to go through and set up and organize your life that way as well. So check out the Inner Circle Ministry, and check out the university section and go through those things there. We have the How to Win in Court Without a Lawyer with Dr. Graves, you know, and a couple of other things. So go through the description section and look at those things and see what they are. If you have questions, you can leave comments later on in the video. But welcome to our What's Up Wednesday show. We didn't put a subject or a topic in there tonight. Um, you hear that thunder? Old folk tell us to get somewhere, sit down, cut all the lights and power off, and unplug it. But well, the lights flickering. Um, Last week we were going to talk about. I had planned a show for having a forum of godliness and denying the power within, and I had a couple of things scheduled and set up for it. But today we're just run off of that and some of the things that may come off. Uh, Spirit leads us to talk about tonight. We'll do that. But the biggest thing, I just want to get back out here and tell you guys hello, love you. I ain't went nowhere. I'm still here. Um, like I said, things happen. The things I always continue to happen is just continue to go and do and show up when you can. So here I am. I hope you've been continuously working on your self mastery, continuously working on your growth and your inner growth, and finding more and more out about yourself and allowing your higher self to master your lower consciousness. Continuously putting things up under the microscope, viewing and looking at things. And when I say continuously, I don't mean always constantly. There's a difference between constantly and continuously. Uh, you're just continuously gonna grow, but uh, so there's certain stages and different things that you go through. Uh, so you want to continue to do certain things, but constantly you just got to live and go through life and have experiences. But as you go through, evaluate certain things and continue to grow within yourself. Always seek uh, more and more, not demand, but seeking more and more within yourself to learn more, to be more, and to grow more, and to be a better one. That's what self mastery is about. So, you know, like I was saying a while ago, constantly you're gonna be constantly going through different phases and different stages of the process of growing and getting uh, results from the things that you do, from going up under the microscope or just examining your life or putting things to the test through experience and everything. What's up, sis? How you doing? She says, Happy Wednesday, everyone. Says Sister Corinne. She has her channel Above and Beyond with Corinne. It's a good show. Like and subscribe. Go find her on YouTube. Subscribe to her channel and get your notifications so you can be up with her whenever she comes out and does a video. So go check her out. Good positive person, good energy, good information, and good structures that she have there. So go check her out on that channel and also Daily Income with Corinne. It's on YouTube as well. So go check her out, like her, subscribe her, notifications so as you can keep up to date and watch things that'll bring you up to date about some of the good things that she has to offer over there. Got kicked off while ago, sis. Had to go get the internet cord and plug it in. We're having a bad thunderstorm right now where we at. Wasn't able to get on last week because of road work and they had the cables cut, so we didn't have no internet. Then the next day the power went out, so we because of the construction, so we didn't have no power for a while until they got that right too. So I couldn't do the video last week, but anyway, so here we are. Hope all is well, which I know that they are. Um, we're just giving a spiel about going into and continuously growing in ourself. And I was explaining how we always can say, I mean, we always continuously are doing that. That don't mean constantly doing that. You got to give yourself time to go through the process and the procedures you need to go through in order to get the growth or get the experience from the things you take from up under the microscope or from the things you may be applying to your life. So we go through things in life and we want to constantly, uh, continuously, like, putting something up under the microscope, especially whenever you're getting the results you want or you're not getting the results you want. You put it under a microscope, see the truth and find the truth and apply it to your life. Uh, when it's working good, you can go back and examine it and see if it can be worked out any better. Is there any more truth to be seen into the thing? And it's like, as we grow more and more, we see things different. We may view things different from the way that we viewed it when we was 10, when we was 18. It's different from the way we viewed it from when we were 10. From 18 to 21, you may view things the same or different. But as you go through life and have different experiences, and then you deal with the same thing, sometimes you have a different outlook and view of things. Um, they don't have to be as different as left and right, but they could be more profound or more detailed or what's the word I'm looking for? uh, more evidencing to you that it is what it is that you're seeing, or you may be able to see why it is, or whatever it's doing, or whatever the situation may be. So, but the constant thing you're gonna do is go through different processes. You're not gonna always be in the same place in a sense all the time. Sometimes you're gonna be growing. Sometimes you're gonna be growing new life, new roots, growing new leaves, new limbs, new branches, new leaves, new fruits, and then there can be some gonna have to wither off, some gonna have to die off, and you go through the process that we all go through, the process of life and going through things. We're gonna continuously go through those stages. So this is what self mastery and continuously working on your self mastery and examining things and examining most of the things about yourself is key important. But last week, I think we were talking about recognizing or having a form of godliness and denying the power within. And there was just a couple of scriptures coming out of Second Timothy I was going to use, but I guess one of my situations is that when you learn more and you understand more, then you're limited to what you can say and speak about. So there's only a couple of scriptures I was used out of that because a lot of it was not Paul. Well, the whole thing wasn't Paul anyway. It was somebody pretending to be Paul. Um, So there's a lot of religion, dogma, and things of that nature in that Second Timothy book, but they are still good nuggets. It's like there's no such thing as a lie that doesn't involve the truth. A lie can't exist without the truth. It's, the truth is involved in the lie. So if we look for absolute truth in all things that we do, then we just discard the lies and take the truth for what it is. Unless the truth of that thing is only going to reveal to be none good for you, or it's not gonna add to you. It's only gonna take away from you, or it's just a neutral thing that doesn't do neither or. Those are things I try to keep out of my life and keep away from me. Those things that have nothing to do or that cannot and will not contribute to me any way, shape, form, or fashion. But having a form of godliness and denying the power therein is one of the verses that I use because that's always stuck with me. And also, all scriptures are trying to read it so as I don't butcher it too much. But you can out Google it and find it later on. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine or reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. And that was what I was saying. There's a lot of little stuff in here that I like and I don't like, and that if you do get the real understanding of it, you can understand why certain things are in place and why they are there. Coming from your Lord consciousness, so your Christ consciousness to your God consciousness and things of that nature. And what was another one? Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And that's another one that's real deep. And a lot of times we're always learning and growing, and we're never really coming to the knowledge of the truth. And that's because we've adapted our truth as being the only truth that it can be. Our own perspectives, our own beliefs, biases, or whatever they may be, how they came about, that we do attain. This is the way that we see and view life. These are our rules and our regulations. Doesn't mean that they're right, but they're right for me. And a lot of times they won't allow you to get to the truth, no matter how much you learn. So how do those two scriptures play a part? Because if you're going to have a form of godliness, or you're going to claim to be woke, or claim to be in a higher consciousness, or you're working in your God consciousness, you're getting your information from on the Cosmic records, the infinite amount of information, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and all these things. So when you're feeding from that source, um, are you coming to the knowledge of the truth, or are you coming out of the knowledge of your truth into the knowledge of the truth? Either way it goes, all the same. And that might have sound crazy, but for those that have been watching me, you know. So your truth for the longest is your truth, and they are truth, and they are producing the truth that you have manifest in your life, no matter what they are, from relationships, from financial to living circumstances, to the food you eat, to the friends that you have, the music you listen to, the things you eat, on and on and on and on. So all of those things are your truth, but are they the truth? Right in that moment, yes. Um, that's the same thing I would say is living, understanding, breathing, and living and operating in the lower consciousness. We talked about the other show from this point of view of viewing everything into your existence. They're only being viewed with the outside too. And with the outside too, you only have what you can see in your peripheral forward. You have to turn, and you have to do all these other things in order for your vision. So you're limited in your vision. So when you're looking from this place, or your truths are involved from this place here, you're very limited, and also you're bounded, and you're held to inside of here, and the things that you can manifest inside of here. There's a lot of things that coexist inside of here that are only profitable for inside of here, that can't exist in higher places or into your higher consciousness. So you have to elevate yourself into those places and get into those positions in yourself. So when you start to grow and come out of those truths, and you start to realize that everything that you thought and knew was truth was not truth because you have seen the truth and you have acknowledged the truth, and you start to move towards the truth and the best uh, know-how that you have, the best knowledge and understanding that you have with what you have, and not knowing that you've seen it from it was brought to you from here to see. The scripture says, "Look toward the hill from which cometh thine help." So you're able to see it on that high plane up there. You're not on that plane, but you're able to see it from that plane. But whenever you're dealing with get from here to here, you're going to operate as much as you can from here. So the job while you're still in the process of doing that is to go within thyself while you're down here, because the ability to get there to those hills to where you see your help coming from is the same thing that is inside of you that made you aware of that thing that has always been there. That different way of seeing, that different way of believing, that different way of understanding, that different way of learning, that different way of living now, and having a different belief that has been that's going to prove itself to be a truth and a fact. And then once it goes beyond the belief, it becomes a knowing, and you have a overstanding. So that is the process that we go through. And as we go to different levels and understanding, or you grow within yourself to different levels and allow the self mastery to happen, we'll understand that we're growing and growing and growing. And I don't want to believe it's impossible because that's the lower consciousness saying that. But the higher consciousness says that you're not going to get all of the truth, but the proportion that it's giving for you to live in this avatar out through this expression of life that you're going to live in this time period now, it's sufficient. You got it all. You know, there's all enough of the truth inside of there. Don't worry about the next life and the life after, or the life previous and the life before. You got enough all right there. That makes sense. So, so um, that's that's one of the things about growing uh, and knowledge or learning it, but never coming to the truth. And so, with that, like I was saying before, that form of godliness is what we see up there on top of that hill. That's what we're seeing from here. We're having that form of godliness. We've seen it, we understand it, and we've claimed it, and we've accepted it, but have not yet begun to actually walk it out, live it out, or to express it out throughout our lives. So when we go through that um, with that truth that we've just been brought into, and trying to operate it with the truth that we've always had, we're gonna have that form of godliness consciousness, but we're gonna deny the power therein by never entering into it, because that thinking cannot go there. That way of truth does not exist there. It only exists here. And there is a truth, that this truth took to get you to that truth. And to when you get to that truth out there, then will you have that and not deny the power within. If that makes therein, if that makes sense. You'll deny the power. You'll have the form of godliness within yourself, but you'll deny that same power that is within you. A lot of times, well, for me, what it was still hard for me to um, completely separate the God that I am from the understanding and the perspective that I had of the religious God that I knew of. I knew that from my understanding and my belief is that I was a child of that same God or that same religious entity. And from my understanding now that there is a separation, because there's one made for doctrination and there's one made for control. There's one made for manipulation. And that's not me, but I am made one in a sense, in that same likeness and image. And so are we all made in somewhat that type of likeness and image, but that isn't the God that I am. So being able to walk away from that religious mindset that I had, because it was no way that I was able or supposed to be able to compare myself, be compatible with that God. That God is so bad, so out of this world, so magnificent that you just don't compare yourself to God. You don't question God, because God's ways are above your ways. His thoughts are above your thoughts. So the mercies and the long suffering and the punishment of God will suffice. But His mercy, after punishing you and whooping you, would be better than the suffering that you went through. And that promise was given to you to be given to you in the afterlife. You'll be given heaven for all the suffering and the hell and the beating you went through. But to compare yourself to that same loving God that I loved, revered, honored, and respected, out of fear, was not the same God that I am. That was someone else's thought, opinion, views. That was someone else's tradition, dogma, and religion. But to find out that I am a God, that I am a source, that I am an energy that has always been and always will be, and I am a atom in a sense, just like the atom of the body. There's trillions and trillions of atoms inside of the body. Then I am just one atom source created to continuously grow, multiply. That's what all atoms do. They split. One continues, one dies off. Sometimes some of them split and they stay. Some double multiply. Anyway, but anyway, so as we grow, we grow into our Christ consciousness, and you grow into your Godhead. Just don't deny the power therein. Don't allow life circumstances or the outcome or whatever you're learning, whatever you're going through, make you deny the power for within that you are. You are the God. You are the orchestrator. You are the creator of your life. The only boundaries that are on and in your life are those that you have set in your mind, in your kingdom. And so that which is done in heaven will be done on earth. And thy will be done upon the earth that it is in heaven, if you understand the Lord's Prayer. So take and learn and continue to learn. But coming to the knowledge of the truth of yourself, that is where it's going to have to take place first. Might have took us a long time to get here, but I believe we're here now. But this is the whole thing behind it, that you got to come into the knowledge that you are the God, and that everything that you do, as we talked about the last broadcast that we had that didn't freeze up or mess up, it was you are the God that created the garden. You are the garden that was created, and you are the man that God created and placed in the garden. You are all of those. So don't deny the power within with your form of godliness. You have that form of godliness and godliness, and it's not deniable. You have it. You are it. That is what you are. As long as you're in this flesh, you have that form of godliness. Because the God that you are is really shapeless and formless, just as well as thought is, just as well as air is. Um, so just as well as the spirit is and the energy that you are. So you take on that form of godliness and you create exactly what you want. Um, just in the process of doing it, you make sure that the only person that get crucified is you. You don't crucify your wife, your kids, your cousin, your husband, your wife, your mama, your daddy, your friends, your social buddies, those that walk the street with you. Don't crucify them. You're the only one that must be crucified in your way of thinking and grow inside of that bubble. And the multiplication will take place. That energy will transfer to those that need to grow and that need to get it. And you may be like me out here on YouTube or somewhere else on TikTok, or if we come face to face, but you can be out here in the atmosphere putting out those same things, and those that need the energy will be attracted to it, and it will do what it need to do for them. So I want to thank you guys for coming out and joining us on our What's Up Wednesday show. Not as long as others, but I think there's enough information in it than enough stuff for you really to think about. If you sit back and think about it on it, ponder it on it for a while, you'll see how powerful and important it will be for you. Now, saying it because that's what it was for me. Not saying it because I'm saying it and I'm delivering it. I know what it is. I know what that information does. I know what it will produce, and I know what it has produced. I am not only the president, I'm also a client of my information. But yeah, join me next week, next Wednesday, for the What's Up Wednesday show. Don't know the topic or the subject. We'll be doing that. There'll be other shows I may be doing popping up and expanding on as much as time permits. Um, so continue to grow within yourself. Continue to do what you need to do in order for you to become that you are. Shed off all things that need to be shed off in order for you to become what you need to become. And hell, add on whatever need to be added on in order for you to continue to be there. But just know that you are God. You are God upon the earth. So continue to create, continue to be great, continue to bless, continue to love, continue to peace, continue to have mercy, continue to shine your light in other people's lives. Do all the attributes that you know that a love, kind, and God would do to yourself first and then to others as well. We love you guys. You have a great, great night, and catch me next week, as I said, 7 o'clock next Wednesday. Peace.